Hello, my name is Todd Fears, and I'm 52 years old. I've been married to my wife Jennifer for 27 years. We have 3 children that are adults now. Our oldest, Graham, is 23 years old. And when we decided to try for a second child, we got twins. We got boy-girl twins, Claire and Henry, and they are 20 right now. So everyone is graduated out of high school. I'm originally from Georgia, but I moved to California in 1996 where I met my wife. And in 2004, after the birth of our first child, we ended up moving to Idaho, and that's where we are now in Eagle, Idaho. So this week, I'm going to talk to you about a cause that I feel very passionate about, and this cause is inclusivity. It's not something that's going to require financial support. But I'm going to ask you for a mindset towards inclusivity. Now, when you hear the word inclusivity, a lot of people think inclusiveness and inclusivity are the same. Well, they're very, very similar, but they are slightly varied. Inclusiveness is the act of including everyone in decision making, and they do that through policies and through creating laws. That way, like everyone has a voice, such as anyone over 18 that is a citizen of the U.S. can register to vote. That's inclusiveness. However, this sounds good, and inclusiveness is needed to promote diversity, which is the key here, is success in diversity. But it can also be manipulated. Take, for instance, the gerrymandering that's been happening in Texas. Everyone is included. However, whose voice is getting diminished? Some people's voice isn't as powerful as other people's voices simply because of the redistricting. So when I say inclusivity, what I'm talking about is the idea where everyone in an environment feels welcomed, respected, and valued. Now, inclusivity is more act-driven. Inclusivity actively seeks out diverse perspectives and experiences to help mold the environment that you're in. So not only is everyone included, but you're seeking out someone else's experiences, someone else's views, someone else's needs, and taking that into consideration in your collective environment. Whew. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that this is not a big ask. It is a big ask, but if you think about it, it's something that affects each of us. We all live in communities, some more diverse than others. However, by taking this inclusivity approach to our community and our environments, it allows us to see things from other people's perspectives. And then when we work together to create solutions in our environments, we all work together to promote the whole environment. And that is a good thing because that is a win-win for the people that are living in that environment, the inhabitants. You've taken multiple considerations into account and you come up with the other inhabitants a method or a solution to a problem. Not everybody's going to be happy, but you're going to have a solution in that environment that is more productive for more people in that environment than it is not. The thing that's interesting to me that I feel so strongly about inclusivity is when I started at Walden University a couple years ago, I entered into the elementary education program. And one of the goals for during the program that I realized was creating an inclusive classroom. So when you write lesson plans for students, you need to think about all of the students that are in your classroom, and you want to make your classroom a safe space. So inclusivity, learning how to get my mind into the environment for inclusivity and how to make it start working. It was really nice being in that program because my first experience with it was in a classroom. So we're talking 20 to 30 kids, and so it was a really small environment, which is what I would encourage you to do, is to start, if you think that this is something that, would be beneficial, which I don't see how it is beneficial to everyone. So if you would find it beneficial in your environment, start with a small environment and start working with the people that are in that environment and start listening and asking questions, be curious, not judgmental. listening to their needs and what their difficulties are. And then you can work together in your small environment. And now the cool thing that works about that is when you're successful at that, everyone feels included and everyone's involved. That makes an inclusive environment by using inclusivity. It's kind of funny, but the inclusivity lets people feel that they're respected in that community and that in that environment. And so then that carries on and multiplies out of the small environment that was successful with it. And it just keeps, the ripple creates a wave and it keeps growing and growing and growing from there. You know, it's difficult listening to someone else's needs and someone else's wants and trying to achieve a common goal with someone else, especially if you have different needs. You know, my family might have different needs than your family, but all you need to do is sit down and talk, and people can work things out. People have been working things out for thousands of years. It's, you know, it's nothing new. We all inhabit the environment. We all inhabit the community. So please just use inclusivity and include everyone in it, and we can all reach higher goals and succeed and reach further goals than we could ever imagine. Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.